our talk to the people that will absorb it and make use of it. I don't know what kind of mentorship I need now as a 64-year veterinarian. Yeah. So I really don't know. But you see, this talk is meant for the younger generation more than the older generation. So if they don't want to come, so be it. The only thing is that you take a horse to the water, you don't force the horse to drink water. Mm-hmm. So that's the dynamics of the truth. But all I tell people is have a listening ears. You cannot listen. You cannot listen. Said Lawal, professor of poultry medicine or avian medicine at ABU, is here with us. Professor, and I'm seeing his face. Don't worry. His face is like a trademark. It's one of the vets I admire. So humble, so accommodative, so lovely. And I think this opportunity to say thank you, sir. Thank you, Oga Professor. I think it's the same set with me. We're of 87 set. And I always say that 87 set is a golden set. We have a lot to prove that 87 with 2 times in that order, consecutive order, we had CVON, Alabi, and CVON Memuna. The first female dean, Morenike, in anywhere, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine from that set. Avon and Wakonobi have been registrars in one way or the other in of the council. So if you look for us, you see us. So that's it. Introduce us. Well, I'm Samir. I don't know whether Samir is here. Introduce us, and then we'll go into we're going full blast. And everybody that knows me know I don't hide feelings. I say it point blank. Let her loose. I don't care. It has worked for me. It has worked against me. The bottom line, Said Lawa knows me. I say how it is. I don't miss it. Maybe because of it, some people say eBay is explosive, eBay is mad. But I always tell people, there's no way you start your practice the way I started practice, as a pedestrian ambulator, without being mad. And you be yourself and be normal. When you fight hunger the way I fought hunger, there's no way. So everybody has his own cut out pattern of life to flow to do, and I have told my own line. And in my own line, we say it point blank. We don't hide our feelings, and then we'll continue saying what it is. And then if we withhold a lot of talks, a lot of information we have, the profession might not move forward. So this is a part of the process to see that the profession moves forward, so that the younger age, those who are sitting in limbo, sitting on the fence, will know that it won't be long before they join the fray, the moving train. It will all expire. The older ones, when there's a maxim, the young shall grow, but there's another maxim, the old shall die. So, and that is all it is, and that is our prayers. So on that platform, we'll call the secretary of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, Dr. Abase, my in-law, to introduce us, and then we'll start off. You're still sharing the screen? Abase, the boy is not, yeah, it's our call. Yeah, introduce us before your screen, please.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, distinguished colleague. My name is Dr. Atta Samson Agbese, and you're all welcome to Bluebird TV. Today, we're dealing on the topic, mentorship class. And this program today is no other one than my boss and our mentor in the private practice, Chief Dr. Charles Chukwudike Ibe, the Architect Ochendu 1 of Okijala. And to digest this topic, we still have one of our famous professor and the Dean of Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Ibadan, Professor Olufunke Davies, one of the senior and most senior professor female that I respected most. Anytime I see her on sets, I am always happy to listen and pick words from her. Alongside, we still have one of our own. I apologies to him. I may not be able to call him young because he's far my senior, but from our poster here, he is no other than Dr. Samiru Ladan Argungu, who recently contested the post of the VCN and is here to digest this with us. So welcome, esteemed guests, as we listen to our speakers. Keep close to your sets. You listen to them, whatever question you have, you keep it, you can type it at our section box, and we'll go ahead and ask them. Thank you for listening, and the floor is now open for our guests, our presenters to kickstart.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me start first. Expand that your screen.
I'm doing that now. Let's see.
Yeah, expand it. You have expanded it before I ran into murky waters. Yes. Maybe you leave it at this. Good. Yeah, this is Mohammed Ali at the canvas in the Rumble and Jungle in Congo, Kinshasa in 1974. Yeah, he was coming into that fight as an underdog because in 1973, he was defeated by Ken Norton. And I think in 1974, this George Foreman that died yesterday defeated Ken Norton. And the issue then was that Ali was to be conscripted in Vietnam War. He refused, so they imprisoned him. And when he came out, he lacked some confidence. Ken Norton defeated him when he challenged Ken Norton. And then George Foreman defeated Ken Norton. So George Foreman was a punching machine. So dead, just like Tyson. He was a heavyweight puncher. Saidu Lawal should bear me this witness. But on that fight in Congo Kinshasa in 1974, see Ali on the canvas, but he didn't lose the fight. And he's declared after that fight that you don't lose if you get knocked down. You lose if you stay down. That's it. If at this point Ali was knocked down, he stayed down. That means Foreman would have defeated him. But before they counted 10, 3 times in that fight. But he observed, he allowed, this is the strategy, he allowed Foreman, for any area of life, there's a strategy. He allowed Foreman to burn out. The same way Buster Douglas allowed Tyson to burn out in 1990, when Tyson, everybody thought nobody would defeat Tyson. But Douglas defeated him in round 10. The same way, the same strategy Ali used. Ali allowed him from round 6 come and see Ali smoking. At that time, he had burnt out. Foreman had burnt out. You know, heavyweight punchers, they burn out so easily. And he continued, and then Ali came smoking and had to, if that fight had ended up in maybe on points, Ali would have defeated him both in points and in technical knockout. Because he was not able to stay down. So that's the principles of our life. And if you watch our match yesterday with Rwanda, we gave it all in first half. Make sure that you get the goals, which is your anchor point. In second half, you played frustrating defensive footballing. and keep them around the midfield, and the time will be going. As at that time, they removed Osimhen, and be bringing, that will tell you a good coach. So you are the one coaching yourself in life. Please, I have only 15 minutes before I move to another person. So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I say it anywhere I go, knock down is not knockout. If you believe in yourself, there are certain obstacles in life that can even take you unawares and knock you down, but it's not knockout. It's only when you're knocked out and you are defeated. Move to the next slide, my brothers. Move to the next slide. So, and before I'll round up, and in the process of asking questions, I will expose a lot of things. We don't want to see your antivirus; it has expired. We want to see, my point. And this
Yes.
and one of the things that ruled my life in the past, apart from God, number one, is being going philosophical, reading books and anchoring philosophy of people. Awolowo was a servant 4 times in his career, in early career. Servant, houseboy, and look at where he ended up. He was even in prison since 1963 to 1966 when Gowon released him. And that's why I'm saying here, Epictetus, he's saying, do not avoid pain. It is the price of growth. While Taisholari was writing in 1964, 1st January 1964, his New Year message, he said, Payan song cannot be sung without pains. What is Payan? Payan is triumphant. Triumphant songs cannot be sung without pains. My early life, first of all, I was posted to Agri-Bank. I was thrown out for certain strategic reasons, no reason. I was rejected and thrown into the streets. Fortunately for me, and fortunately for those who threw me into the streets, believing that streets will swallow me, I am praying for them because they did best for me. They set me where I belonged. I belong in the streets. I am in that street till tomorrow. To win MVMA presidency while serving as elected member of the council, to run Bluebird Company, to start as a pedestrian ambulator from day one, served in a place I gained all it takes to take all it takes to build a life career. Those people who did it are wonderful human beings. Maybe they did it out of ignorance. Maybe they did it out maybe some strategic reasons. But I'm telling you is that place they took me to, where I'll be walking and trekking, and then when I sit down and be discussing with you, I'll be sleeping because I have burnt out. I'll start talking, you want to talk, I will be sleeping. My lap trousers will be tearing, and the people, the tailor or the mender who's mending my clothes will ask me, why is it that your trouser is tearing from the lap? It's out of pedestrian ambulatory. Lawa might have seen 1 or 2 things. But the thing is that I nudged on. The important thing is that you strive on. Let's get to the third one, the third slide, so that we will move. And you see, I have received calls, messages from vets, young vets, and I've said, I'm getting enough. I need job. By the time I finished, I had no job. I created my own job. And mind you, when I was doing pedestrian ambulatory, there was no cell phone, there was no internet. I have only an envelope on the door in one room boys quarter I was living. I first of all squatted in one room and parlor in a chain of cubicles where traders were living. In the morning, you want to go to the toilet, you queue. You want to urinate, you queue. I don't know where Lawa, what we call Lungu, in those days in Hausa parlance. That's where I started off my as a squatter, because I did not have enough money to go and rent a house. And vets will be, there are some strategic things, that happened in my life then. And I say it, and I say it with pomp and pageantry that I was right, and that today I proved that I am right. Because there is this Pfizer meeting they normally have, vets normally have in Pfizer, Kaduna, which is their central spot for North. They will come all over places, Philippe Suga, Charles Iboko will come from Jos, Philip will come from Yola every 2 weeks, and then those in Kaduna, and one or two of them, Jide will come from Jide Shoebo will come from Zamfara State, from Zamfara. And one meeting they were discussing me. They don't know the kind of person. I don't discuss girls, at that age, they think, he said, you think ladies are porridge, you can eat at a beck and call. And then there are things that will dimmer you down. You'll be eating your money and eating your fortune and eating your destiny that I don't even discuss. The only thing I discuss my life and other aspect of life I will not mention. And they don't, and then most of them that have these big jobs, they give them cars. They branded this, branded Pfizer, branded Glasgow, branded this. At the end of the day they'll sack them, they'll collect those cars. They see themselves in the streets. And they use it, Professor Davies will know what I'm saying. Young girls, they like big cars. They won't want to come and perch on my back, to carry them on my back. They want to stay in air condition. They will be playing their cassettes and all manner of gamut, and their destiny will be running down. And at the end of the day, what happened? They started discussing me, whether but by the time I got the time to marry, I married. I have 3 children to show that I'm a man. So the thing is that there's time and tide in all affairs of man. If you carry something you're supposed to put last and put it first, it will dimmer you, it will be a burden, it will destroy you. The money I was making at that time was for my capital. It was not for me to be in a kind of euphoria kind of lifestyle. And you want your destiny to come back, because as you eat your cake, that is, you can't have it. And what I'm saying, that you can't have it in the raw sense, that there's a button you have. I was at the third slide. There's a button you have. If you allow that button to fall, nobody in a race, we're in a world, there's in a race. Like if Professor Said Ulawa decides not to research, there's no way he'll be a professor today. And he go into other things. He will never be the same thing with Professor Davies. There's a cut out life for you. And that is his button. But his button is research. And other people wants to take up that professorship and then if he drops that button, no race, no relay race, your button will drop. The world will wait for you. Their race colleagues will wait for you to pick up that button so that you continue. No, they will race past you. And that is life dynamics. So the life dynamics calls, please give me the next slide. Hello? Abwese, has it crashed out? Abwese, has it crashed out? Abwese, give me the next slide. If you're not giving me, I will, because I've had them here. So that we will talk it raw and talk it right. We will talk it raw and talk it right. I don't hide feelings. And when I was contesting for MVM election, people say, Dr. Ibe. Dr. Ibe, he says as it is in his mind. I'm not in cult. It is called to people that will hide a lot of things. I don't hide anything. Yeah. I would say, give us the next slide. If you can't give us, let me. You've done slide 2. Don't let what you cannot do. That's the slide 3. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. There's always a tomorrow. If you cannot do something today, there's always a tomorrow you can do it. Do what you can do in bits and bits and pieces. And that's where people run into murky waters. If not started business, you go to bank to collect money so that you can do more than what you can do. Have you perfected your arts, your strategies, your life pattern? That the loan you are going to collect under this dimmer effect of Nigerian loan that is clinical finishing with all manner of jumbo package in terms of interest. Have you finished being perfect in it before going to collect loan to do what you cannot do? As I tell you, are collecting loan, you do what that loan can do for you. Don't hang your clothes at the spot, your hand, you cannot be able to pull it back. Or you tell a giant to hang your clothes in the sun. In the sun. And when you want to collect it, you are not a giant. You are looking for all manner of strategy to bring down. Always cut your coat according to your size. Another slide I have here, I don't know why Agbese is not, is that don't forget that even when life gets hard and feel like giving up, there is a future you haven't seen yet. Stay strong, believe in yourself, and never stop moving forward. The cardinal point is believe in yourself. Who is yourself? Have you discovered yourself? I can't discover you for you. I will say in general principle, in general terms, what I feel that everybody will catch up and catch on with. But I, Charles Ibe, Akiriko Chendo for Keja, will never discover you. You would have to discover yourself. For those who worked in animal care, they discovered themselves. Though that the initialization of the process was animal care. But if you have gone to animal care to be a dullard, you remain a dullard. If you have not, some vets will come. In quite honest, I work with a lot of them. They don't want to work, they want money. And I say, where are you going to get experience? I was doing my fellowship at UI. I was staying in UI guest house. If I say, let me go and see my friend, Professor Ogundipe, who was the president of Veterinary Council. I met a young vet who was posted to Amo Sibra, Amo Bing. All he was asking is, are you going to pay me MSS? Then, what has that got to do? The experience you got there, even like me in a hatchery, in a feed mill. Feed mill is not only for the hatchery and the farm. Feed mill is for nationwide. Nationwide, as when I finished, I had no job. I was hanging around 2 hatcheries to pick clients on hatchery days. Tuesdays and Thursday for Professor said, you know where I'm saying, for Niger Fest. And then Wednesdays and Friday in hillsides, which I've seen likewise I do, we have struggled for day-old chicks in those hatcheries. And as clients are telling you, bring day-old chicks, and then you are going to work in a place. At the end of the day, you know the nitty-gritties, integral parts of that hatchery that if you call up for day-old chicks, and if you're asking for, let's assume your father is a multi-billionaire, you won't even be looking for comments. That means you are in the same financial bracket with me as a poor man. You don't want to be trained. You don't want to train yourself. You don't want to get experience. Experience that will give you money. Want money. Comments that after when you finish, you have enjoyed with small girls and the thing will go. Because no money that comes easy. It's no money that comes so hard will be frittered easily. Put me, go and write it on that. No money that comes through hardness that can be frittered so easily. That's how we were able to build up. Then build brands like Vetzyme, brands like Ford Dodge. We didn't start from day one. And one thing is that we saw those brands and stayed for a while for us to get to where we build those brands. And then somebody was posted to that. Anyway, I trust Ayo Dunto. He was outside the country. He was asking his accountant, his secretary, blah, are you going to pay us MSS? Well, nobody has even known whether you even worth 1 naira in a private entrepreneurship business. Nobody, he doesn't even want to know whether even he can add 1 naira to the MSS he was looking for. In fact, sometime after my East, I traveled to East. I joined a luxury. Before we got to Lokoja, between Ubila and Auchi, they stopped our luxury. He refused to stop. This is a luxury. Then the police know how to catch him when he was climbing the hill. As he was climbing the hill, they just cordoned us off. Anyway, I came out, jumped as a vet doctor. My colleagues were working in the police college where they train police college in Kaduna. I can introduce themselves. I brought my ID to the police people because they wanted to take himself to cell or detain. Then after speaking the grammar, they said they wouldn't take us back. We jumped the vehicle, they stopped. And then we moved back to where the vehicle with the driver. We got there. So when we got to Lokoja Amaka, the man sat me and they always feed them, all those, because they're bringing passengers. Then I asked him, how much are you paid? He said that if he tells me how much he's paid, but the bottom line is that they put attachment to make enough money. That even if I have my own boss, I should not pay him so that he can drive for me. You can see the principles and dynamics of life. All he wants is to gain his money, and not for the owner of the bus to be paying him millions. But he will still get those money, though they live queer kind of life. He sat me down there. They were giving him food, and they were packing food. If I was telling whether I did drink big stuff, because I saved him. What I saved him would have been much, So that's a life pattern. Where would you stay, even if you are not paid, to get money tomorrow, and then gain experience today? Don't let what you can do interfere with what you cannot. I've said it. Move down a bit, please. I've said it. Move down to slide 4, please. I've gone through this. Move another one. Don't forget to move another one. Yeah, now I think I'll promote you after this to be senior boy. Because you are doing a slide. Go to slide 5. Yes. A man is not finished when he's defeated. He's finished when he quits. Imagine if I had said at the point I was taking anxiolytics for me to sleep, if I decide to quit, what would it have been of me today? You have to go through crude oil will pass through refinery. To get you the refined oil, even vegetable oil, soya, will pass soya oil. You have to go to a refinery to refine yourself. Nothing will be gotten. Even gold that does not react with the environment, mercury, name them, has to, because they have impurities. Agreed, people like sodium, lithium, potassium, calcium react to the environment, so they are seen in all, combination as a compound before you can, extract the metals. But gold, you extract the metals, they don't react. They exist whole, silver, those down the electrochemical series for those who study chemistry. You see that, but they have impurities you need to put. So in every year, when you are in school, and that's the problem we have, you are impure. When you come out as a copper, you are impure. How do you gain purity? How do you gain to be pure? And that is the terms. How do you gain? It is to go through hard struggle. If you go through the process of refining, if it's that cheap, everywhere in the country would have been having refined product. It's not that easy. Go and ask Dangote. Even those in Niger Delta that refined crude one, those you call, what do you call them? At the end of the day, at times the whole place will be blown into fire. At times many will die because these chemicals coming are so volatile. But you must go through a process. And that process you are going through does not mean you quit. Stay on, stay long, stay endure. If you don't strive, you can't get it. If you, but why, what do you call him? Tashola was writing him, "May your days be rough." He said the world is not a bed of roses. That great businessmen get reasons, reason out their strategy and follow it up with some celerity. They do not dare delay or dally. So don't dally, don't delay. A little folding of an axe can be very costly, and then people make a lot of mistakes in life. Please, I'm here getting there. Please, I think I should allow others to talk before. I'll allow the others to talk so that it not be a monologue, please. Unfortunately, I spoke a lot. So I think Professor Mrs. Davies should continue. But still stay where you are. Stay where you are. I have other slides I'm going to push out. So Professor Mrs. Davies, please. Sorry for taking your time. And
Thank you very much.
I think I've spoken well.
Yes, you have. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibe, the convener of Bluebird TV. And let me quickly say a beautiful morning to our senior colleagues on this call. I could see senior people on this call. I want to say a very good morning also to members of the board of the Veterinary Council of Nigeria. I can see some of them here. And also distinguished colleagues, good morning to you. It's my pleasure to be here this morning to talk about mentoring. I believe Dr. Ibe has been able to hit the nail on the head in some aspects. But if we are going to talk about mentoring, what is mentoring? I will handle it from, another angle so that we can blend things together. And at the end of the day, all of us will be able to gain one thing or the other at the close of this program. So we can say mentoring is a close individual relationship between somebody and the other, and it
I don't know, why is she crashing out? Yeah, why is she crashing out? Unmute yourself. Why is she crashing out? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I guess
Yeah,
it's just
Professor,
like the way I crashed out the last time. I don't know what's happened
No,
to
she
our
will
network.
crash back, but we will continue.
Okay.
We'll continue. It's Samira.
Argungu. Yeah, I checked, but it's not on. And maybe I'll call him outside the
please
line.
call him. Maybe he's struggling. No, he lives in the Brenin KB. Call him. Let him log in. Anyway, before she comes on board, please, if she comes on board, let me know so that we can still hand over. Still hand over.
What slide are we on? Slide 6?
Yeah. I think slides we missed it. Yes. Yeah. Well, this is a very tough one. By Usain Bolt. He said, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds. And people give up when they don't see results in 2 months. That's where resilience. It's part of what
I'm sorry, my network went off.
No, don't worry.
I've connected to another one.
Okay, we're going to.
Like I said the other time, I said it brings value to both the mentor and the mentee. So it can be, a symbiotic relationship. And when we talk about a mentor can be a model, of identity. That is the kind of person you admire, the kind of person you want to be. So it can be the kind of person you want to be. I want to be like this person, and then you can approach that individual to mentor you. And when we talk about being a mentor is meant to be an advisor, a supporter, tutor, and when you are doing that service, you can even sponsor the individual. When doing that service, you will see that your mentee is gaining, you are benefiting in one way or the other. So it is not just a one-way thing. There's what to gain also from that. So an ideal mentor has knowledge, expertise, has passion for mentoring, because mentoring can be draining at times. So there must be that passion there. That individual is personally interested in developing another person's career. You are interested in developing that person's career. You are interested in developing that person's well-being, because the truth of the matter is that he's going to task you. That individual also is ready and willing and able to share wisdom, knowledge, professional experience, technical expertise. All these are characteristics of an ideal mentor. And these are things that are actually involved in ideal mentoring. There will be interpersonal as well as a professional relationship with the mentee. The mentor also advances the mentee's academic or professional goals consistent with the mentee's interest. And the mentor is also sensitive to the mentee's culture, ethnicity, and gender. So that shows sensitivity also is there, because it could be in every way around. And so I will not, as a mentor, put pressure on my mentee because I'm a Christian, he must be a Christian. Or I would say because I'm a Yoruba speaking person, that person must be able to speak Yoruba. Or I would say, oh, I only want to mentor male, or I only want to mentor female. So I must be sensitive, to the mentee's culture, to his ethnicity, to his gender. And I must be able to model responsibility, consciously act with integrity. That is, those are the things expected of a mentor. Integrity as a teacher, as a researcher, for those of us in the academia, and as an author. We must be able to help to understand expectations, including the norms and the criteria for excellence. Those were some of the things that Dr. Ibe just mentioned, being able to model it before the younger one, and be careful to avoid jargons. So we must be careful in what we pass across to our mentee. And what is expected of a mentor? You are expected to encourage adequate time management, work with the individual, with your mentee, share techniques, oversee professional development, all that they are expected. Also, you must be able to link your mentee up with opportunities within and outside where you are. You must be able, because it's like you want to pass the baton down. And if you are not passing the baton down, then you are not useful. Many people die with their resources, die with what they have. But when you pass your content to others, you are fulfilled. You introduce the individual, to professional bodies where he can share his interest also, where he also could gain things. And I would like to quickly go to styles. There are different mentoring styles. There's no hard and fast rule about one, or the other. When you talk about mentoring styles, there could be one-on-one, one-on-one style. There could be group mentoring. There could be peer mentoring. There could be distance or electronic mentoring. There could be speed mentoring. There are many mentoring styles. And the truth of the matter is that there is no one that is the perfect one. So a mentor or a mentee should allow his or her mentor to, blend different styles based on the resources that is within that mentor. Also, there could be a laissez-faire mentoring style in which anything goes. Anything goes. There could be a negotiator. There could be proactive mentoring. There could be symbiotic, in which case, both the mentor and the mentee, they are coming together and they are getting positive impact. There could also be autocratic type, which is not encouraged. To reproduce himself by force, in the mentee, that is not encouraged at all. Which is the best style? It depends on the nature and maturity of the mentee. It depends on the mentee, wanting to thrive better with a directive or autocratic mentor, and the style should adapt to the needs of the mentee and the level of maturity of the mentee. It depends on the discipline. It depends on the discipline. And what are the benefits, for the mentee? Like I said the other time, the mentee is gaining, the mentor is also gaining. What are the benefits for the mentee? Strengthening skill in research. For those of us in research, it helps the individual, the mentee, helps the mentee to be able to know how to present things, probably at conferences, at different meetings, scholarly publication, pedagogy, grant writing. There are many things that, that the mentee can gain. Also prepares the mentee for dealing with stressful or difficult periods. Dr. Ibe just talked about Aisha that says, may your days be rough. Nobody wants to say amen to that kind of a thing. But the truth of the matter is that there will be rough days. If you will ask Dr. Abiade here today, if you will ask Dr. Ibe today, if you will ask Dr. Gani and Aoro here today, they will tell you they have gone through stressful and difficult periods. And they are still even going through it. Or you want to ask Professor Saidu or myself, who will tell you that there will be difficult times. But when you have a mentor, you are prepared. The mentee is prepared. It helps the mentee also to be more marketable and improve their prospects of securing better jobs. It helps you to be more marketable, and you are not just sitting there and say, I don't have a job, I don't have this. Somebody is going to be able to chart the course for you, show you the way. Knowing that someone is committed to their progress is therapeutic. You can imagine, I have an idea that somebody is committed to my progress. It's healing. And so I would not say I'm depressed. This younger generation, many times they say they are depressed. Truth, depression is real. But when you have a mentor or mentors, it's unlikely you are depressed, because when you are down, they are pulling your hand to move up. So I recommend that younger ones here seek to be mentored. So when there is stress, your confidence is built. Your confidence is built. Then what are the benefits to the mentor also? Like, the mentor is also benefiting in one way or the other, because the younger ones are daring, they are current. So you benefit from them too. Access to new knowledge, techniques, promising avenues for research through the mentee. There is also what we call inferred glory and enhanced reputation through the work of your mentee. And then you have richer networks, because it is unlikely that your mentee, will not make progress. Your mentee is making progress. And as your mentee is making progress also, you as a mentor, you are making progress, because your network is broader, it becomes broader, is richer. I am aware of some granting bodies that all they do is mentoring. They connect you with a mentor, and it's a lifelong relationship. I benefited from that. In fact, I could almost say without that, I wouldn't have been able to finish my PhD. And up till now, despite the fact that there is gap in distance, so there's USAID program, I still contact my mentor, and he also still contacts me. And it has been a rich relationship that has encouraged me, that has enhanced, my career also. So we can see that there is also personal satisfaction. As you are mentoring people, you are being satisfied. The mentee also is being satisfied as personal satisfaction, And what are the mentoring practices? There must be effective communication. In other words, you as a mentee must be able to communicate effectively with your mentor, and the mentor also must communicate effectively with the mentee. Also, that relationship provides encouragement and support. It fosters network, as I said the other time. I'm running now because of time, and then the mentor is treating the mentee with respect and collegiality. Your mentee is not your slave or your servant. There must be a place in which we treat our mentees, with respect. We must respect their time and their intellect also. Allow them to share with us, and then we guide them. So the mentor is not, you are not to just say, oh, this is what you must do, and this is, a mentee is not a supervisor. So we must be able to differentiate between a supervisor and a mentor. A mentor is not a supervisor. So we must keep notes during meetings. The mentee must keep notes during meetings, and refer to those notes in subsequent meetings. And then, there's a need for us to acknowledge our skills and prior experience and demonstrate that you're willing to learn. The mentee must be willing to learn. Many a times these days, the younger generation, they are all about what is in it for me? What am I going to get? What am I going to gain? But when you are mentored, it's a training season, it's a training session. And the truth of the matter is that money will come after. Money will come after, because you are getting what you cannot buy. You cannot buy those experiences that your mentor is going to give you. You can't buy them. The personal touch you're going to have, you cannot buy them. So I will encourage our younger colleagues this morning that you must get a mentor. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't say life is hard. Don't say, oh, everybody, it's true. Everybody is passing through one thing or the other. But mind that word, passing through. You are not staying there. So get a mentor, and don't overburden your mentor also. Don't overburden your mentor. Your mentor is not necessarily your financier, because different mentor will give different ideas or different service to you. So you can say you want to have a mentor in your academic field, you want to have a mentor in your financial field or your spiritual field, different field. You see this person, you see the ideal in him or her, and you want to become, just like that person. And you must be open. You must be open. If you are not open, there's no how your mentor can help you. Also, ethical conduct must be demonstrated. And how do I mean by this? In the way we treat, our mentors, or in the way we treat our mentees. Ethical conduct, integrity. Integrity, when you publish together or you co-author, there must be integrity there. And you must shun plagiarism. So I think I'll just stop there and allow, other people to contribute, and then I'll be open to questions.
No. Yeah.
At
we
the end of the day.
Thank you very much. Three on this call.
Thank you
Dr.
very much.
Samiru, please call Dr. Samiru. Maybe he's coming in with another name. Call him to give us from younger mind, young vet perspective. Because the older vets have talked. I think I'm senior to Professor Davies.
Dr. Ibe, I'm still young.
No, I'm talking about the graduate.
Yes.
I'm senior to Ola Davies in age and point of graduation.
I'm still wrong.
No, I'm coming. I just I'm him.
Hello?
And then she is senior to Samir Ladan.
Yes. Samir, are you here?
What we want
sir.
to, we want to bring.
Okay, just hold on.
Samir, don't be afraid. Even if you make mistake as first timer, there's other time to correct your mistakes. The problem is that if you cannot correct your mistakes, that's where you have problem. We are bringing you on board to be able to interact with you. Don't feel, I don't know, how will I put it? Don't feel jittery. Don't feel naive. We are your older colleagues on the same platform. No. The idea is to bring up your people in your age. And as we don't do this mentorship class, we'll bring the younger generation to say their mind. Whether the older generation are doing well, please, if we are not doing well, just say it. Because I'm going to talk where the younger generation has really done wrong, based on my experience, that of somebody that employed close to 8 vets as corpers, as employees, and stuff like this. So please, get started immediately. Thank you. Don't get jittery. Don't worry. Build your confidence. This is a confidence.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
You're welcome.
So sorry, I have been following you. It's just that maybe you're not seeing me. Even me, some people call me and ask me, are you online? I told them, yes, I'm online, but unfortunately, other people are not seeing me.
All right, you're welcome. We looked for you with your name, but we didn't see you with your name. Now you have your name written on your
and now we are seeing Olofunke's Ola Davies' daughter. I don't know whether she looks like her because it looks like her.
Ahead,
the person I'm seeing is on the DP looks like her, but I don't think it's so young. Okay, no, we're here to laugh.
So let me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, let me start by thanking my parents, my parents. I will start by saying thank you, my mentor, for finding me worthy to be part of this mentorship. Also, let me thank the Professor Olabisi, the Dean of Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Ibadan. Let me also thank the other senior colleagues that are currently joining the conversation. And also, let me thank my colleagues for finding time to join our conversation. So I'm very delighted to be part of this conversation, even though this is my first time of joining a mentorship conversation. So please forgive me for maybe saying trying to explain something that is not relevant in the conversation. So first of all, I'm very happy. Okay. So yes. So I'm very happy for my father, the former president of MBMA, in person of Dr. Charles Eve, for finding me worthy to be part of people that he's going to mentor. I'm very delighted. I'm very happy. And this shows, had it been I didn't contest for this MBMA BCN election, he may have not known me and even maybe planning to put me in place of his people that he is willing to mentorship in future. So I'm very delighted and I'm very happy. This shows me that whatever the earlier speakers are saying, I have already started seeing the benefit and the link of that of whatever they have said. Because if you have not tried, you have never win. It is only if you try, that is when you know your obstacle, you know your shortcoming, and later you can develop on them so that you can reach where you want to be. So before I will start explaining the reason why I decided to contest for the BCN board members election. So I am an alumnus of in-service applied veterinary field epidemiology, which is called ISAVET. So we did the course, that is 3-month courses in JOS, where I represent my state. In each cohort, they will select some people from each state to come and make a cohort. So I happen to be the part of cohort 3. So after we wrote a exam, we also conducted an interview. So we were able to scale the truth to go to the slot. So we went to JOS, we did our survey training, that is the classwork, and we also go back to our state and conducted the practical session. So after we finish all those things, then later we as ISAVET, the sponsors, that is the USAID, the FAO, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, at times used to ask us, what do we think is a gap, or what problem are we facing in the conduct of our work as veterinary field epidemiologists? Then we'll start comparing what is obtainable in Nigeria and what is obtainable in West Africa and other African countries. Then we realize that in other African countries, most of ISAVET graduates, they have a specific places that they are working. You will see them either in the Air Force for doing the public health services. You also see them maybe in the control force. That is, they are working together with food health. Those are the ones that are working for public health for human. You also see them involved in some disease outbreak investigation or surveillance. That is in field epidemiology. That is like, if you look at what is obtainable in human, that is FELTIP, Nigeria Field Epidemiology Training Program. So we realize that for human veterinary field epidemiologists, so whenever they finish their training and their workshop, immediately when they finish, any disease outbreak investigation that is going to take place in that environment that they are living, whether they are working in the state or they are working in the federal, once the outbreak took place in that place, so they are the first people that will take care of. Unlike in our own case, where I'm in KB, we have had an outbreak of avian influenza, but FAO and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture would send their people from Abuja to come and do the outbreak investigation and other surveillance activities. Then we also start thinking, so what caused all this problem and the gap? Then we realize that the problem is we don't have a central working place for veterinary public health. Even though we know in our former Ministry of Agriculture, we have Department of Veterinary Services, and public health is a unit under veterinary services, which we think in a developed world, veterinary public health is even more important than veterinary services, because veterinary services is limited to the services of the clinic. While if you are talking about public health, they are there to see how they can prepare, they can prevent, they can respond to any unforeseen disease emergencies that may occur in the country. Then we start thinking, okay, if that's the case, how can we advise our government or our mentors to see the right things is being done. Then we start thinking on other countries. Then we look at America and London, even though there's some standard countries that wherever we are referring, we say, in London it is this, in America it is this. Then we check. Then we realize that in America and in UK, they have National Center for Disease Control. They also, that is CDC, Center for Disease Control. This Center for Disease Control is aimed at coordinating all the public health problem in the country. Then we also recognize that they also have plant and animal disease inspection, which on the other hand, they are there coordinating any disease emergencies that occur on plants and animals. Unlike here in Nigeria, if you say like the bill that I'm pursuing or I'm advocating for, somebody will just call you and say, doctor, why are you duplicating the work? If you think we have NCDC in Nigeria, so what you are advocating is you are just trying to duplicate the work. Then I say, no, please, if you can maybe give me time, I will explain something that maybe you didn't do. Oh, sorry, maybe you didn't know. I try to explain to people that I personally observe and analyze what NCDC is doing. From the name, the Nigerian government got it wrong because we expect from the name Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention. If you say disease, we know that it's not only human that come down with disease. Animals do come down with disease. Plants too come down with disease. But unfortunately, the human counterpart has hijacked the agency. Most of their work, 95 or 99% are human work. If you see a bed there, they were just off us maybe to fill the One Health component, or maybe if there are some animal diseases, sorry, diagnostic diseases, so that maybe they can seek our advice. Then I say, if we really want to overcome the problem of animal disease outbreak in Nigeria, we need a unit under NCDC, meaning that.
Yeah, he's talking about. He has gone off.
We don't have a reliable data on animal diseases. If you ask, so if you ask, we don't have reliable data. Most of our data, most of our ADOs and so on, they'll just go inside a room or inside the clinic. They'll just formulate their data and publish, which may not have, or which may not maybe attract the partners to come and support us. Many people, they don't know. If you may have this agency or unit under NCDC, many of the things that we get is not from the government. Go and check on the NCDC. Most of their donors, government is only, I would say, government is only paying salary. That is the only one that they are doing 100%. But once there is one outbreak of one disease, before you know it, the sponsors and donors may come off and help the government. But the problem is, up to now, that we veterinary doctors, we don't know. If you don't have data, if you are cooking data at ministry or at federal government, and maybe it can scale. It cannot scale for the NGOs and the partners, because whatever they are doing, you must justify the reason for that, which most of our people, they don't know. Because if you say you have PPR, you have CPP, have you taken sample to the lab? Do you have confirmatory diagnosis? Which in many instances we don't have it. We just conclude on tentative diagnosis, which has limitation for partners to come and intervene. Likewise now, for example, if you're talking about human diseases, when you say malaria, they have dashboard there at NCDC. If they have one case of malaria or two cases, it's recorded there. Unlike if you go to Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, I don't know, because I cannot conclude, because maybe we have some senior colleagues or directors that are working there, that any disease of animal that occur here, that we can have the records in our central recording data, which we're supposed to have it, because you are expecting a government to come and intervene. You don't have a gap. You are expecting a partner to come and help you. You don't know even where to start. If he asks you, please, okay, give me the report. Most of our people, if they finish vaccination, or if they finish disease outbreak investigation or surveillance, if you ask them, what is their report? You hardly get it. Then secondly, we don't monitor things, especially in the case of public health. At least we have passive surveillance and we have active surveillance. In passive surveillance, it doesn't need much of money that needed before you do it. But we are lacking a lot of human capacity. We are lacking a lot of speciality and other things that we're supposed to get in terms of transboundary animal diseases. And if you look at the country is losing a huge amount of money. Like just like, let me talk about the area that I did my PhD, Newcastle disease. Nigeria is losing about 5 to 10 billion annually. And these Newcastle diseases, if we can do what Asian countries do, we can overcome it. The vaccines that we are using in Nigeria are outdated. The Newcastle disease virus has 9 serotypes, which the Newcastle disease virus belongs to serotype 1, and it has 17 genotypes. Most of the work that was conducted in Nigeria, the most predominant genotype that was found in Nigeria is genotype 14. But we are using vaccine that is from genotype 1 and 2. Lasota, Komarov, Hichna, they are all genotype 1 and 2. So that is what you call barrel shading. Somebody will just come and vaccinate his bats, but he will end up shedding the virus. Which, if you check on what is obtainable in the developed countries, what is obtainable and what is used there is what is called genotype match vaccine. You have to identify the predominant or the most dominant genotype gene of Newcastle and develop the vaccine from it. So that if you do that, that is what you call genotype match vaccine. It will stop the causes of barrel shading. Because now, yes, if you use Komarov or if you use Hichna or if you use Lasota, definitely it may produce immunity because of what? All these serotype I belong to serotype 1. That is why the Newcastle virus has cross immunity, unlike Gomboro and other viruses, because Gomboro does not have cross immunity. So that is the only one that is saving us. And secondly, this vaccine that we are using, Lasota vaccine, if you look at it very carefully, you realize that how sure are we that we are handling the culture of the vaccine? Because it is only effective when you maintain the culture. And we all know the problem of electricity in Nigeria. If you go to some shops, you see that they'll just put the vaccine in the refrigerator, which there is a recommended calling system that is needed to maintain the culture. Then, if you look at these Asian countries, how they overcome the problem of Newcastle, there's what you call thermostable vaccine. Those thermostable vaccine, they don't need any culture. That is I2 and B4HR. And those vaccines, they are also applicable to all ages of bats. Because like Lasota, if you give Lasota, you observe some respiratory problem and other clinical signs. But if you use the thermostable vaccine I2 and B4HR, you may not encounter all those things. But the problem that you ask, who is guiding, or who is maybe how can I put it, guiding, maybe or certifying the work of NBRI? Because how can we expect by now, if you look at so many researches, by now we should have banned the use of Lasota and Komarov in Nigeria, because they are causing more problem than solving the problem in our livestock sector. In even some developed countries, they even went further. Apart from genotype vaccine, we have soft genotype. If apart from genotype 1, 2, 3, up to 17, we have soft genotype. In each group, there is soft genotype 1, A, B, C, D, which in the developed countries, they are producing vaccine based on those soft genotype. That is what you call MIXO15. That's the standard Newcastle disease in the world. So I think many people, they misunderstand the reason why we need the establishment of that Nigeria Center for Animal Disease Control, because if we have it, it may help the NBRI in maybe doing the right thing. Because for now, I don't think who is guiding, because by now, look at this level, the vaccine that we are using, that has been produced from the NBRI does not have NAFDAC number. At this time, if NAFDAC does not certify the vaccine, how could you expect the standard of the vaccine in the global world? So actually, people, they don't understand the problem that we're facing. I'm sorry to say this for our profession is most of our people, they don't accept changes, or they don't accept some things if they are not part of that team. Secondly, most of our people, they look at the position, because this thing that we are advocating, if it's scale, definitely the powers of CBON may reduce, which I know it's not everybody that may like to allow his power to be reduced. But on a normal circumstances, there is a need for Nigeria to have either unit under NCDC that will take care of public animal disease. That is when I was talking about veterinary public health. Or we can have this agency may sit down, plan, prepare, respond to any unforeseen transboundary animal disease. And like now, look at when people are saying the country doesn't have money. Who tell you the country doesn't have money? If the country doesn't have money, why is that this country is signed MOU with Saudi Arabia, with Brazil and other things? And how many trillion do you think they are going to get from that MOU? And if care is not taken, they will end up send all those things. One case of CPP or one case of PPR or one case of FND may end up turning down all the investment that they have done in the country. Like now, many of our products are not accepted in the world because of what? Because we are not serious about how are we able to contain and prevent the spread of this disease. Some people may say, oh, we are young, since when we were not born, we have been battling and fighting with those diseases. And now, why do you say that we can only achieve this through agency or through board or other things? Then I always tell people that something that we must know is we are, like me, I'm working on that ministry. I know ministry has limitation. Ministry has capacity. Because as a director or as a veteran officer, whatever, no matter how good you are, no matter how you want to do the work, if the PAM set or the commissioner doesn't have interest in that, they will know way of diverting that money. Even if the money is meant for that department, it can be taken to another department, which cannot help the profession. But if you have agency, definitely the people that will manage that agency must be professional. Like now, if you have one case of outbreak of like Kebbi, we're having issue of meningitis. Before you know it, that case was the state government has often EOC, Emergency Operation Center, which will manage and monitor the situation and advise the government on the way forward. But in our own case, veterinary public case, I have never heard of any EOC on any disease. Somebody will just go as a director, advise the government the way he wants, which is not as good as if there's EOC, which you invite all the stakeholders so that they can sit down, they can propose the plan, they can advise, they can just take to the ministry. The ministry will just endorse and put to the policy makers, that is the government and other things. So many people they don't know that the reason why human counterfeit are tackling human diseases, that EOC is helping them a lot, because it's not one man interest that they'll follow. They will sit down, the stakeholder, like now, if like this meningitis in Kebbi, before you know it, WHO is there, UNICEF is there, many doctors are, but many stakeholders are there. They will give the standard way of how to contain and prevent the spread. Or like in bed, if you're having issue, it is only the ministry that will sit down and decide on what to do. Which, if you are talking about stakeholders, in all these states, we have the faculty of veterinary medicine, like now in Kebbi. I believe if you are having any disease outbreak, we have the University of Agriculture at Zuru, we have Nampolo University. So I know that the lecturers from the public health from that university, they will serve as a stakeholders, which I know if they are part of the committee, they can advise for the right thing to be done. Then only the ministry will sit down and say, this is how we advise the government. So that is what I will.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Samir. I don't know whether we'll push. I will say, where are you? You are our moderator, but I think you've gone a long way. The little position you were given, we are able to think how we can expand to bring in more people by expanding into more frontiers. That's what you have been able to achieve. That you don't want only you as employed on that public health field to remain only you. You want to use your position to expand so that more people can come in. And then tomorrow you might be their leader. And not for you to forestall others coming in. I will tell you one reason. I'll tell you an example. this immediate past VCM president, came to the council when we were in the council in 2010, 2011, sorry, and said that every police officer that is vet is about to retire, remaining only 2. And fortunately for us, sorry, not 2010, 2009. And then I was to become president of MVML, end of that 2009. And just a month later, September, he made that statement. 2009, October, I became MVML president. And I took it to Wita. We worked day and night to expand the frontier of our office. If she has not raised that alarm, if she has not been in the position to be an elected member of the Federal Council of Nigeria, he wouldn't have the opportunity. Just like what you said, if you don't try, you cannot win. You cannot win. And now you can see where you're heading to as a young vet. And that means that we're bringing you here is not what I would call it. Our bringing you here. Yeah, our bringing you here is not a mistake. You have opened up a new vista in our professionalism that can take up to 1,000 vets if well organized and well activated and well packaged. Just because you are in the field, some of us have retired from the field. I used to do sales rep all over the place in the field. I can't do it again at age 64. There's people like you who in the field can advise those who are not in the field, more especially those in ivory towers of our practice, to look deep and see you have sense in what you're saying, because you can explode an animal disease. An animal disease can be an emerging disease in human in human disease.
Dr. Agbese is in.
You said?
Dr. Agbese is in now.
Okay, Agbese has come back. Yeah. So, Dr. Agbese, I don't know where you are. So let me just round up, because I went a car crash and I decided to fit in. So what I'm saying is this: Agbese be articulating our comments and questions. Those who have questions, those who have so that at the end of the day, 56 vets were employed by 2 of us working together in harmony. So any position you see yourself, use that position as to expand the 4th tier of our profession because of tomorrow. Okay, continue. Thank you, Ola Davies, for reminding me that it's in. Unmute yourself. You are muted. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Are you listening? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, our presenter. It was an exciting one to have you all, and just a wrap up of what our presenters have said today. I picked some few words that, in fact, resonate within me, and I wish to hold them tight to myself. I'm wondering how many young veterinarians are on this call. And that is the problem with us when topics of this kind is projected towards us, we are not always available to have them. You see, you don't lose when you get knocked down. You lose if you stay down. So if we are not on this kind of call, how do we get to know when you are down? These are inciting program that we should, as young veterinarians, to be participating. Bluebird gives us this opportunity every Saturday. Why not just carve out our time and say, every Saturday between 10 o'clock, we are here to just receive this good information. Okay? Another captivating thing I captured here, he said, Dr. Chasibe said, at your start, give it the best. Give it the best at your start. Use the example of yesterday Rwanda match and explain to us. At the first half, everything was done. Now, when you give the best of your time when you are starting, of course, at the end, when you are becoming weak, you are already strengthened. Okay? You need to train yourself. We need to train ourselves. No money that comes so hard.
that can be frittered so easily. This remind me of a day before yesterday. I left Lagos for Benin, and was supposed to take my flight this morning to Abuja to attend the program. But on clicking the payment list, I saw the price of the flight has gone to as from 97,000 to 155,000. Of course, I shouldn't just waste that kind of money comparing what I'm going to do there. So you see, when you give your time to train yourself, there are some certain things you give you decide, and that is why we need mentorship in everything we do. You need to be refined. How do you get yourself to be pure? You need to be endurance, steadfastness. These are the key points I need us to get from the words of Dr. Charles Ibe, and there to our amiable professor, or Professor Davies, went ahead and give us the meaning of a mentorship. Those relationship that brings what? Value to the mentor and the mentee. In fact, today I am glad to know that it's not even only the mentor, the mentee that gains from being mentored. It's a symbolic relationship. It's vice versa. The mentor gain as well as what? The mentee. So why don't we seek to be mentored, especially in our field of this profession? These are areas that we need to look for somebody who we like his style. Go close, learn from what the person is doing. These are words from the Professor Ola Davies. This goes ahead to tell me that it is not even only in the entrepreneurship field that we gain mentorship. Those even in the academic also have mentor. Wow, that's glad to know. Professor Ola Davies, thank you for that. Me personally, I don't even know. So I am encouraging we, the younger veterinarians, to come, even those in academy, look for mentors. And when Professor Ola Davies was speaking, in fact, that took my mind towards somebody in the university at the time of his being, professor and a dean. Lots of lecturers got professorship promotion within that period. That means those who are closer to being mentored, and they are mentored well, and you see things are becoming free and easy for them. So you also need mentorship in the academic field. And again, what do we expect from mentors? You see, linkages. There are a lot of things we can grab. As mentee, we can grab from our mentors. Linkages. There are a lot. In fact, they are where your level can stay to. Okay, the level of where you can stay to as a mentee. Then you need your mentor to push you, to project you to that other level, which is the linkages that will always come when you have good mentor and you are ready to be mentored. All right. Passing of content, your mentors can pass content to you, which is exciting. Today we are learning that mentoring, sharing can be on one-on-one basis, individual, and the rest. And what are the benefits by mentorship? The Professor Mr. Davies told us that strengthening skill. You strengthen skill in researches, grant writing, lot of it, marketable. In fact, you can be marketable when you are properly mentored. So I am encouraging all the young veterinarians on this call to always seek to be mentored. Let us seek to be mentored. Personal satisfaction is there. We get good communication from our mentors, and so many of this. And Dr. Argungu came up to wrap it up, and he made one particular point. He said, "If you don't try, you will never win." That is the word from Dr. Saminu Argungu, and that is it. So, let us always try. My mentor here, the agriculture, said it. If I had not come out for the post of Secretary General as a young veterinarian, how will I know I'm going to win? So let us always come out, because I have been following some mentorship skill. My mentors following them gradually, and that is why I knew that no, I have to come out. The strength came because I was mentored, right? So let us always put ourselves as young veterinarians into a proper perspective to be mentored, and from that we will now know that this is it. Our mentors are there to help us. So if you have any question, you want to you can drop it on the chat box. If you want to talk, we can spotlight you so that you can talk with us. Thank you, Professor Davies, our mentor, Bluebird TV, Dr. Chasibe, and Dr. Samuel Argungu. You guys have done wonderfully well to this topic. I can see Professor Davies' hands are up. You can unmute yourself and speak, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Agbese. Just a quick information, because Dr. Argungu was mentioning some things which I know that he probably does not know, and I believe this information will be helpful. Under the Office of the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, there is what we call disease reporting, and he does it every month. So he collects disease reporting from all the states every month. Once there is a disease outbreak or a condition in any state, the state reports to the Director of Veterinary Service, who has his or her book for disease reporting that forwards it to the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria. So all you need to do...
Mom, Prof, is it the ideal or is it the real?
Is the ideal, is the real, sincerely. In fact, when Dr. Vakuru was director, was the Chief Veterinary Officer of Nigeria, he had to create a system. If you don't report in your state, it does not give you the palliatives that you should have. So they are actually doing it, sincerely. They are doing it. And as chairman of Committee of Deans, hold on, Dr. Ebe, chairman of Committee of Deans and Directors, they also mandated us, the directors and the deans, that once they have any disease condition, they must report it directly to the DVS of states. So if you ask the DVSs of states, they will tell you they are doing this. But we need to know they are doing it so that we can cooperate with them.
Let me respond in the real sense. We have people in the public sector. Mostly there's a disconnect with the private sector where these diseases are noticed. These notifiable diseases are noticed. There's a disconnect between the private and the public sector. So you need to preach the fundamental, the foundational. Let there be a connect. Let there be a connect. How many funds, when I was running farm in Kaduna, how many funds were sent to me in my own farm, which everybody knew, to put so that I can put all the diseases I've got in that farm? I've gotten Gomboro in that farm, which I manage, Newcastle, which Samiru said is all over the place, highly endemic. And then if you look at the disease report, going to the CVON, you see that even a farm, most times, and in most areas, even what a farm, an area, or a local government gets a disease is what is being reported as state. So let's get down to the fund. That CVOA say report, I got to cook up a result and send to CVOA. It does not mean it's reported. That's why people say I'm mad. And I always say it. You cannot start veterinary practice the time and how I started it and become sane without being mad. To be frank with you. And then without saying it point blank, they say all those results you are seeing, some of them are either cooked up or some of them are underreported. I am a very fair, frank personality. So let's go down to the basis. What Samiru is saying, let's put up a structure and infrastructure that will hypen the disease reporting system in the country.
Thank you. I think in essence, there's a disconnect, and we have to really put that structure and reconnect back. I still have somebody who raised his hand, Dr. Ugarumba. You have the stage.
Yeah, Ugarumba is the chairperson. He just elected 2-3 days ago of Anambra State environment chairperson. Yeah. So Ugarumba.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, my professional colleagues. Today's topic is quite interesting. I want to quickly come in on the issue of disease reporting from the perspective of being a public servant. Actually, these things are being done, like the earlier speaker said before you came in. There is disease reporting down to the local government level, up to the director of veterinary services, that now moves it to the chief veterinary officer. So, but the thing is, just like you rightly said, the private sector, it's not carried along. and that will limit the authenticity of such reports. So I think I'm also suggesting, in line with Dr. Ibe, that the program should be designed so that these forms that we at the public sector fill for cases we handle both in the government veterinary centers, that the private people should also have copies, and are mandated also to report same to the DVS of each state, so that they can correlate both from what was gotten from the public clinics and then also from the private clinics. That is my input in this. On the issue of mentorship, it's a very good idea for people to actually try to get themselves under somebody to mentor, and also for the senior colleagues to also look out for people to mentor. But I want to quickly say that, you see, mentorship at times, because of providence, you might not be choosing who mentors you. You can start from where you started. I have quite a number of mentors in the profession today, having worked quite in a number of places, and I am still linked up with these people. So that's why in any place you find yourself to work, try to be of a good, positive vibe, and keep in touch with whoever is God has placed under you at that particular point in time. Because whether you like it or not, that is your God-given mentor at that time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Ibe and my fellow colleagues out there.
All right.
Together, like we always say, it's better to grow. And I believe that if we keep talking about these things, we will get to the promised land sooner than we know it.
Yeah.
Thank you, the chairman.
Yeah, there's, Professor Davies spoke about synergistic effect. And an example, a cognitive example that mentorship and mentee that worked is Dr. Abiade, Dr. Nasir. You cannot write the success story of Dr. Abiade's hospital, pet care, without giving Dr. Nasir till tomorrow. Even Nasir has separated, but there's still a Siamese section of connect between two of them. There's still a cooperative area, interface between the Truth Smile and pet care. I knew when they were in one on basement, in one close to one market in Ikeja before they moved to Allen. I knew that it's like an irrevocable determination for Nasir, for that pet care, to survive to the level that they can partner. You can build up you can build up a structure like that, like pet care, for you to have a whole interfacing or partnership hold, and then grow together. So that's the thing. When I talk about this mentorship, if Nasir was, because of the largest and good hand he was given, if he has a criminal intent, he might go into undue gallantry, undue advantage. I could remember some of my reps, clinic is different from my own. I'm a trader or businessman or whatever. And I knew some vets I have employed stay in Ibadan, stay in Enugu. Immediately they look around, you are not around. They turn into your business into a secondary business and make their own a primary business. Meanwhile, you're giving them a car, you're giving them a house, you pay them salary. A good example of somebody I have mentored is Dr. Nonsa Nene. People in Anambra should know him. And Nonsa Nene, we said, if you take Dr. hiding what? I'm not a cult member. I'm not in shady deal, in shady stuff. So I don't do shady things. Dr. Nene will tell you that if you stay with Dr. Ibe and go for a marketing drive for 3 months, you are made. Because he succumbed himself, humbled himself to learn. But some will be looking at money. And when he had, throughout the time he was marketing for me, he never marketed his product. He haven't done anything on his private scales, on private business. But along the line, some people do it, thinking the guy will not know. But some people like us who are can take intelligent reports here and there. How I caught many of them. Even some of them that use my vehicle, I gave them. The vehicle I gave them to run as kabu. It's happening in this our industry. Lies, cheap lies, which they know that we've been in this field. There's no lie you can bring up in this field. It's so difficult that I will not know. And they will be telling it, I will accept. One day something will happen, I will catch them. And the person is finished forever. And then when you sack them, okay, go and start up your own. Now you want to do your own, start it up. They will not. One moved out of the house I gave him. Within 2 months, he moved out of that house because he can't pay for it. So these are the learn and learn well before you can take off. Or even possible, partner with the person you work for. And there are indirect and direct mentorship. And I will say it with pomp and candor. I don't know whether Professor Saidu is here, Lawa. Ahmadu Bello University, to me, is one of the best mentorship faculty we have in this country. To be frank, because I was surprised. Because if you train your undergraduates who will be graduate, and they'll come into the field jittery, they will not have the courage, they won't have the courage, they won't have the charisma. Even if they have they won't even have the confidence. Even if they have the competence. Train them to be who they are. That's why most of the ministerial meetings have, committee meetings I have. You see, Said Asabi Abdullahi. You see Said Abdullahi as a minister, chairmaning a committee where Professor Mrs. Lombin, who was his lecturer, because of positional difference, but you still give Mrs. Lombin that gratitude. So the first thing I noticed in Ahmadu Bello University is that students and lecturers eat in the same restaurant. When professors, I was surprised. You are breaking walls. Don't put veil on your students because of what I call high esteem, superiority complex. Maybe that's why I'm hated. It's not fair. Train them to have that courage. And in fact, from that thing I saw, made a difference in me, in the way I handle things. Then I'm talking about as a copper, and to where I am today. From right inside the university, you must mentor students indirectly. And people like Abaton mentored us. I never worked for him. But I looked at his integrity. I looked at his rectitude. I looked at his business plan. I looked at his business pattern. For me to strode into the world of never ever, the only boss I've ever had in my life was my boss, who's an animal scientist. My boss when I was a copper and an animal scientist. After that, I was on my own. Then when I started I looked at his pattern for 1 year, study what he was doing, know how to distribute proprietary products, know who are your clients, your customers, and what have you. And then from that, I had to take off. And then I looked at from the field, I looked at Alberto, look at the way he does his things and keyed into it. Pfizer keyed into it a bit at my own level, not at his level. There's no way I'll catch up with him. So that is it. So continue, sorry.
Thank you so much, Chasive. Learn and learn well. Before I make any comment, let me invite Dr. Abiodun, who has his hand raised for long.
My wife. I'm sorry, Abaton. You
Dr.
raised before
Abiodun,
me. Sorry.
please, you have the floor.
No problem, sir. My mom and also my mentor too. You don't know that.
Were you the one that worked for City Vet?
Yes, I was.
Okay, that's okay.
I worked for City Vet, and then from there moved on, and then later.
I used to see you when I used to market my products in City Vet.
I used to see you in Abuja. Now you will come to Bolingo Hotel. I used to come and meet you there. I mean, Ibro Hotel. So sorry.
Yeah, Ibro next. Yeah.
Exactly those days. So that's why I said you are one of my mentors too. We will not be meeting regularly, but at least I know you very well, and then I learned quite from you. And then Professor Mrs. Davies too is a big mommy to me, because I just finished. I was one of the people who had the privilege to work under a DC project, and I was attached to Oyo State. And so we had a very cordial relationship. In fact, she made it. She was one of the people that made her stay there very well. I just want to talk mentorship. If we talk about mentorship from now till eternity, we still have so many things to talk about them. But the brief I just want to say about mentorship is that a mentee should be willing to look for somebody to mentor you. Don't wait for people to come and tell you, come, let me mentor you. No. You really, just like Dr. Victor said, I like his own approach. He still keeps in touch with so many people. I mean, me and him, we still spoke some days ago, and anytime we talk or we chat, we're talking about either business or how things will go and all those things. So that is mentorship. But the area I want to comment about is just to add credence to what you said, sir, about what you and Prof said about the disease reporting. You know, I know that the two of you are right in your ways. However, what I want to say is that as a first-hand person on the field who saw how things were, you know, under the Redisi project, I realized that we still have a very long way to go in being able to synergize the relationship between the private and the public sector. And that was the greatest headache we had when we were in Ibadan. When we got to Oyo State, there was nowhere I didn't enter. The very first week I landed, I moved around everywhere trying to see how we can bring the private to synergize with the public too. And it was just very difficult. And that's my own personal observation, very difficult. But what I was able to see is that, you know, because you don't just allow people to say, I won't do this, I won't do that. You'll find out what exactly is the problem. I noticed that from the private sector, they feel like majority of the private practitioners feel like, you know, when largesse comes or when good things come, the rest of the people don't consider, or the public sector people don't consider them as being important. But when they now need data or they need this, they need that, you know, that's when they will now keep running after them. So I want to, that was one of the recommendations I made to the DVS that we worked with directly in Oyo State, you know, to say that when some of these largesse comes, I mean, when I say largesse, I'm talking of the palliatives that mommy spoke about, you know, that which she's right by saying that. And I this time I want to commend Dr. Bakuru, sincerely speaking. He did a fantastic job with Redise. He did a very fantastic job with Redise. You know, so I want to commend him for that. But when those palliatives come, I don't know whether they'll still keep coming or they stopped or whatever, but that the public sector, because they will always go to the DVS office through the DVS, that they should pull these private sectors together and see how they can also share some of these things with them. They do, but they need to take it higher. So that some of these people, we also have that feeling of, you know, belonging, you know, to the same cause that we're fighting for. And when they do that, I believe, sincerely speaking, disease reporting activities will increase. While we're there, we tried the best we could. And then initially what we heard was that Oyo State was lacking behind, seriously. But by God's grace, with the little we could put in there, the efforts we put in there, the three of us that worked there, we were able to some extent synergize, make that synergy work between private and the public sector. And we saw Oyo State. Now, even right now, I'm still on some of the platforms that were created, and I see what they are doing to see that the impact of what we took there, you know, is really working. But then we can take it up, we can take it higher, you know, nationwide. We can take it higher. I don't understand why there shouldn't be synergy between public and private, but their grievances is what I've just brought out. That, oh, when you people have this, you don't share, you don't give us, you don't do this. And then when you now need data, you now want us to be the one. And they are the ones who really have this data, because they are the ones who are on the field all the time. And they are the ones that will have clients bring cases to, you know. So that's what I noticed on the field, and that's why I just said, let me share that if it will be of any usefulness, you know, to what we're discussing, so that we can improve on it, and by God's grace, it will be better for us. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bluebirds, and then thank you, Dr. Ibe, for the human job you are doing. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Abiodun.
Yeah, let me follow him up.
Okay.
There must the funds, the largest that are spreading, maybe with ministry, CVO, and down to the budget, state budget, might not enough to contain this drive. You see, this drive in the human sector is not done. They have departments, structures responsible for this, whereby the money they are giving DVS is not even enough. It's not enough, not to talk about engaging the private sector. So there must be extra funding and extra infrastructure, extra structure. And that's where Samiro is Argungu. And I am buying into his argument whole and entire. Because if you see money, people work in Nigeria.
Yes.
You cannot disconnect. Okay, give me a form. I'll be calling you on phone. I'll be sending you email. I don't have money for data. I don't even have money to, because look, my parents paid me for 6 years to be in the university. If I want to do pro bono case, it's a different ballgame. I can do pro bono case, but not on my profession. Where do I pay my bills from? And you expect me to be paid? No. I'm saying I am a vet with high ambition. If God gives me a helicopter, I'll fly. To be frank, if we can convert this industry into what looks like oil industry, I will engage myself into it. And they expect me to do these things. I thank you. Did I tell the university thank you? The restaurant I was eating at UNN, was I telling them thank you after eating their food? Or you think that was not an investment I should recover later? There should be an infrastructure. There should be a game plan. And the game plan is funding. Not when these DVSs are struggling. You want them to pay you from where? It's not like dean or faculty of UI. They are struggling. The deans now are struggling. And then they want them to engage you and pay you. From where? He has not even paid for the what do you call it? The inputs, the usables and reusables. And you want them to be paying you for you to do a job for dean or faculty of UI. It's an impossible road to hell to climb. So let's call a spade a spade. What Samiru is saying is, to be frank with you, I buy into it. I've learned about it today, and I'll always talk about it. If you don't have that, please don't engage the private sector. You need to pay them to do the job and do it optimally for their collective advantage so that they can even expand the business, the industry, for them to gain. There must be a servo mechanism whereby you gain from your actions, from your works, from the contract you're giving. It will be a contract. I will sign it with you. But the important thing is that you have to fulfill your own side of the bargain. For it, if not, it will just be, you know, when Professor Davies was talking, I was in Ihala, private clinic in Ihala, when I do my IT. There's one guy working with Mwabunike who was in that Ihala, one Shagasha. At the end of the day, they'll give him form, anthrax 20, this one 30, this one 50. He will fill the form and submit without going through the data, going through the record. And because you want it, it's government, they must reply you. But when it filters from government to private, we must not reply you. And when we are replying you, we reply you what is on the ground. I was MVMA president, and this issue of data, I think Mrs. Hwange came to present a data for us in one of the hotels, big hotels. After drinking their tea, having a lunch, I went into the session. What they're talking about Albert Gomboro is what a farm we have throughout all over the country. What they're talking about Newcastle, I was looking at the figures. If I'm not in the field, unfortunately, I wouldn't have been able to tell them, this is the thing you are presenting. I don't buy into it. Maybe that's why people are saying that eBay is mad. And I agree. When it comes to that, I am. So let's get this matter. If you want this information, you must fund it. Nobody cares for it. Look at this school field of schools now, private schools. Professor Kelem Kudi is raising his hands. And then you want me to do pro bono case work for you. And then maybe my enjoyment will be in heaven. I will suffer on earth. People are joking. Professor Kudi, please. Sorry, I hand you over. So maybe you call Professor Kudi before Lumba.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Chaside. Professor Kudi, if you are on call, please, you have the floor now. Because we cited you with your hands raised up.
Thank you very much, Dr. Besse. Dr. Charles, thank you. Issue of disease reporting. I'm sure all of us know as veterinarians that it is mandatory. So when we are talking about disease reporting and we're talking about private veterinarians or even government veterinarians, it is part of the profession that if you have any issue with disease, you report to your DVS, and the DVS reports it, of course, to the CVOA. We have a mechanism, we have a process. We have the laws to back those things. So I don't think we need to give anybody any money. It's a statutory function that every veterinarian must do to be able to actually make sure that we're reporting it correctly. Now, the other thing is that we have to look at the structure of the ministry. Now we have Minister of Livestock. They do have the structure for disease monitoring, and we don't do it. That is the basic truth. And I'll give you an example. I was in a meeting in Vienna, and people are presenting, diseases from their countries. Nigeria was blank. And when we asked, one of them told me that our reports are not reliable. So maybe it's something we need to work on. The other thing is that I was opportune to go one of the borders, and I met one of staff of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. I won't hide this. And he was supposed to be monitoring animals that are coming into the country. This guy will take a 20 mil syringe, take 20 mil from a cow and divide it into 5, and claim that he has seen 5 cows and he's monitoring 5 cows. So it's based on lies, just like Charles Ibe said. So I think we need to tidy up our house. The laws are there, the provisions are there. We vets are inept, we are introverted and we don't do things the way together that we're supposed to do. And I think that is what we need to work on. When it comes to outbreaks and its compensation, that's a different thing. Farmers are not even being compensated, so they don't even report those diseases until it has gotten out of hand. So I think one of the things we need to do is to focus on how do we gel those things together, and how do we get these diseases coming, even without it this year. Actually, Director of Vet Services can collect all these things on a monthly basis and send it to Abuja. Abuja can have a database so that we know the diseases that are occurring in every state and in every corner. That is very easy to do. It's just the commitment. So thank you very much for the mentorship lectures, and they've been fantastic. And the other key I wanted to say is that Abatan has said it. A mentee must be willing to be mentored before you can mentor him. I'm talking this out of experience. Thank you.
Yeah, Professor Kudi, thank you very much. I think if my name is Dr. Kudi, that is Dr. Money, I might not need money to do most of this. So from your name, you are blessed already. People like us, people like us who are not blessed like you, born with money from your name. With your name. That's why we are calling money. And we're in the field, the business to do money. I'm just saying, you see, what is happening in the human field? There are structures. There are structures. Structures on the ground that interface with with the ministry and the private sector. That's what we're looking for. Not just that maybe try to do, but they're able to discover there's a disconnect. That I'm happy I'm not lying that there's a disconnect. How do we connect? We connect with structures. Anyway, it's an argument for another day. I wish I'm called upon. Thank God that now that the ministries, most times they call me now to come and give them my input. Before is that when they call my name, don't bring this troublesome person here. That has been the mantra. But today, I think, give it to from Vakuru. I need people to mention Vakuru. From Vakuru, and before you form committees and you don't put my name, has been difficult. And I'll go there. I have never destroyed his office. I have never pulled down the Ministry of Agriculture. but we'll be able to talk. And based on that, we are reviewing three laws: the Vet Surgeons Act, the College Act, and the VTH bill. Sorry, the Vet Surgeons Act repeal, the VTH bill, and the college bill. We have just finished it, and I think we did a wonderful job. So that's it. But what you listen to us, because the mantra in life is look, listen, and learn what surrounds you. Pick the one you want to pick. Don't pick the one you want to pick. Thank you very much. I want to continue.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Kudi. I think one of the key word here is that we really need the mentors to interface with government to see how structures and that link between the government and the private sector, so that the disease reporting system should encourage and entice me to do it. I think if I can bring my experience into this in 2018 or 2019, I can't really remember. Then I was in the final year. That was when I attended a workshop at Abuja, disease reporting in Nigeria, where I think I remember Dr. Wakonobi was in charge then. And I requested that the representative of students should attend that meeting. And that is when I begin to understand, and have, this how will I put it now? This notice to say, yes, as a vet, I need to be reporting disease. And if after studying, spending money, and go back, I mean, as a private person in my clinic, I'll just pick a form and start writing reports when I don't even have time to put my own record in the shop. I will now be putting, record on paper to send to government. Then there should be a structure where, not really that, should I say payment, not really payment, but something that we encourage. When time come up like this, you invite, like me now, for me, being invited in that workshop, I have this happiness, in quote, being the first time to go to a five-star hotel by federal government. So why shouldn't I go back and be doing things for them? So let the private sector be included. I know should find a structure and a link to see how most of this disease reporting should reach up, so that all our record should be authentic. Because if you don't do me that, sometimes I can just sit down and say, this form they gave me, I've not filled for this month. Let me just attach something, unconsciously I'll just attach something and send because I want to send. So let that spirit not be there like that. Therefore, we have seen that we needed to be focused on that aspect. And again, we need to really bring out ourselves to be mentored, willing to be mentored. And I agree with Professor Kudi when he said that, because I am who I am today, courtesy Mr. Leye Olayende, the MD of Hybrid Feeds. In 2011, he was in the marketing, and he met me in Makurdi. When I was in year 2, studying veterinary medicine, that's when we met. And the way he was doing his marketing, he was the MDO, he was the rep going around state. And that is how he found me. He mentored me today. Before what did he do? He just asked a few questions, and if you are willing, like that. And I gave up myself. I said, yes, I really need to be mentored. I want to follow what people are doing to succeed. And I opened up my heart. Before you know what was happening, he gave me the opportunity. Just product valued 400,000. That is what made me today. I was doing that while I was in the university. So we really need to open up ourselves to be mentored, ready to be mentored, and agree to be mentored. And for our mentee too, sometimes some of us who are mentors who want to use our mentee as, I don't know how to put it, but you see, like yesterday, 3 days ago, I was speaking to one senior colleague who mentioned that in his clinic, he said he wants to come back fully and do things, but he has some extra work he's doing outside, lecturing somewhere. And I just mentioned to him, I think you will need a vet doctor here. You can employ a vet doctor. You see, the response he gave was like, and you know, when you now employ them, they will now start taking your clients away before. You see, this kind of, when we begin to harbor this kind of mentality in us, we should expect our colleague, younger colleague, to grow. Need to grow. So when you have it as an older colleague, if you feel you are not having the consciousness that the younger ones need to grow, that is where some of these disconnections come. And we will now start looking at, yes.
I was said from the negative perspective, in the last in the last 4 years, I've been able to recover 5 million through the court for doing that same thing to lay did to you, to some vets. I went to court. You know my own, you can't eat my money. I'm sorry. If I'm giving you this kind of products to market and bring money, you ate up my money. I will collect my money because I have barrage of lawyers around me, courtesy of my marriage into the legal industry. So he went and ate up my money in Jos. The day they went there to pack everything he has, that money was coughed out under 3 million. 1.5 million. Then another one is one vet in Ibadan. You should know this person in Ibadan. I won't tell you his name. Gave somebody in Ibadan 3 million naira to get him day-old chicks for 5 months, 6 months. The day-old chicks, no day-old chicks, no money. I have to call one Wemi, who is an ACP now, Assistant Commissioner of Police, to get me the vet in Ibadan that is police. Through that, we recover that money. So when you give this kind of incentive to younger generation and they turn it into an albatross, do you continue? And I'm not saying that I'm not giving you some. No. Yes. I'm not saying, I mean, Dr. Nwachukwu in Owerri, there's one other doctor in Owerri, we've been giving them credits worth millions and they are paying, they are returning. I'm not saying one, but the only thing is that when I have just said something here, look, listen and learn what's around you. Because 419 is real. And most times, sometimes it's even somebody who took a product of 3 million. If I got a stay, return the product. Don't worry, even if I say expire, he couldn't return the product. So that's the thing. So you see, layer staked EDs on you, and you build to return the banter positively. How about those who return it negatively? That's where this mentorship, integrity is key to this industry. Layer, I know how many billions people are pumping grains. Grain sellers are pumping, pay us in 1 month. They will pump over 1 billion naira worth of grains into his silos. And as he's making fees, he's getting money, he's selling, he's returning it. But if it's sold to you, you collect the money. How can you pay those people who gave him credit? You can see the credit chain is damaged. That's the thing. Continue. I think Uyelumba is it the old hand is raised?
Yes.
Another
I think
one.
it's a new hand.
Okay.
Hello, Doc.
Yes.
Hello. Yes. I'm with you.
Okay.
The area. Hello. Do I have the floor?
Okay. Hello. Argungu. Just hold on for Ogurumba. Ogurumba, go ahead.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So the area I actually want to speak on is the issue of synergy between the private and the public sector in respect to disease reporting. The thing is, there's one thing that actually baffled me that I see in other professions, and that the private sector have actually held sway, because the progress of any profession, give it or take it, is the activity of the private sector. It is the activity of the private sector that actually progresses a profession. And the other professions has found a way to actually get their private sectors involved in the activities of the public sector, vis-a-vis jobs, contracts, and things like this. And I begin to wonder, now that we have our own ministry, please, are there no jobs, contract jobs that are veterinary related that are coming out from those ministries? Because this is one way you can actually say, okay, this person is a partner with the ministry, is bringing us reports, and when things like this come, we should be able to give him this job. Or are these jobs actually given to international partners? Because this is one area I believe that the private sector could be brought in and could be encouraged to bring up these reports, like we said. That's one thing. Then secondly, somebody mentioned that when they went for an international meeting or something, and they were talking about disease report from our country, and they said ours is not reliable.
No, please, it's Professor Caleb Kudi. Please.
Yes,
Not somebody.
the reasons,
Not a somebody, is an elected member.
The
of
reasons why
Federal.
these things are like that is because we don't have good laboratories that confirm these diseases. You can't report diseases based on clinical signs. Such diseases cannot be reliable. Such reports cannot be reliable. So I keep on saying this each time I have the opportunity to say it. We need a system where labs should be developed in all different places all over the country. If in each local government in Nigeria, it is not too much. And I know there is a lot of revenues that will accrue from such places. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bring down your hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, bring down your hand. Argungu, you wanted to say something. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. So me, I just want to clarify some things. I have been working for the state government for about 16 years. So I know how people just used to go and cook their reports and send as a disease reported. In fact, each month I have to certify about 4 governments are working under me. Augi, Argungu, Augi, and Gondu. Each month they have to report to me as a zonal veteran officer so that I will take it off to the state disease reporting officer so that the disease reporting officer will take it off to the DBS and DBS will take it off to the CVON. So I know you may find a local government that does not have clinic and the veteran officer, the area veteran officer is not around, and each month he will send you the results, which you know that it's a questionable. We all know that in data, that is what we call data validity and reliability. So if you look at our NIDIS form, for over 10 or maybe 8 years that it was formed, there was a lot of gap and lapses in that form. And up to now, I'm not aware of any seminar workshop that was called on the form to see how they can improve the form, because in anything that you do, it must have a shortcoming. If you look at what is obtainable in human counterpart, their disease reporting form are integrated form, and it's not designed by only Ministry of Health. No, it has been designed by stakeholders. If I may say it, the WHO is in charge of that disease reporting form, because whatever you put, they are seeing. So in this area that we are in, it's even shame to Nigeria to be reporting diseases, to be reporting what you analog disease reporting. If you look at what is obtainable in human, they have a digital one that has a dashboard that all the disease reporting officers are linked with it. They have code. So whenever they have reported anything, they will just activate using code. They will send it to just reflect automatically. So by now, based on what my mentor, Professor Olukwike, said, that the ministry has disease reporting, that thing's supposed to be obvious, and that thing's supposed to be online that everybody can access. It's not something that we can go and hide. It's not something that I did masters, I did my dissertation or PhD thesis, I put it, I submitted it to the PG school, they keep it. This issue of disease reporting is something that policymakers are supposed to see the danger, so that they can act on it. And just like what my elected member, my mentor to say, Professor Caleb Kudi, he went to the Vietnam. They know that we don't have a standard system that can guide or that can collect, and coordinate our report. That is why our report, even if we have it, it's not reliable, because if we are serious, at each level, we're supposed to have a data manager. This data manager must have people under him, just people that will validate the data, which we don't have. We're human. Any data that you send, they have to validate the data to see whether it's reliable or not. Which would have it.
I think we are coming to the end of this. So round up, please, fast, so that we'll call Dr. Nauro. We'll call our big head, Dr. Nauro, Dr. Fadibe, and probably Dr. These are examples of mentorship and mentee drive.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Just like what our last speaker just stated now, it's not an issue of having lab in each lower government. We have faculty of veterinary medicines, which they have labs. If we're able to secure that bill, so that each state can send his sample to the closest faculty of veterinary medicine, I think it will be easier. There is no way, even if you have lab, if you don't have a system that coordinates the lab, just like NCDC. NCDC, they have lab that
for you. I know you're struggling with that.
They have Center for Advanced Medical Research. Yes, like Brennan Kebi. I know if we have any human cases on the NCDC, they have MOU with that comrade, that is Osman University Hospital, which if you have a structure and system on ground that may work with all those things, the work can be better. Then lastly, if you look at the way we are thinking, I am sorry to say this, is very wrong to give all the powers of veteran profession to CBO in this era. Because if you look at human, they have primary health care, they have national and Lagos, they have NCDC, they have NAFDAC, all these agencies, they come to work together, they make a policy and advise government. That's why whatever they say, government may take it very tangible. Unlike us that we rely on just CBO to take care of everything, which is, I think, is not good at this era. Thank you very much.
It's arbitrary. Yeah, Dr. Abbas, is he still here?
I think he's still here. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Please call Ninahu and Nasir to give us a pep talk. I think we've done far. So please, our mentor, this is mentorship class 1. We are going to class 2 later. So anything we couldn't cover today, we'll cover it next time. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just keep us informed. But we will publish, this thing is streamed on YouTube. And we will send it around in all the platforms as much as possible. I would say you help me to direct it to some platforms which I don't belong. And please, if you go to so that you can have a review, and I will plead with you to give us the honor of clicking the subscribe notification buttons to expand our frontiers, please. We need our frontiers. We need our videos to go viral. And the only way it can go viral is you share, you click the notification button, and you click the subscribe button. Just leave the rest to us. So, and then we have Dr. Fadipe, Dr. Inauro, and Dr. Nasir. If Abiade is here, he can talk so that we can round up. Please, just 2 minutes, please, for each of you.
Okay, I think Dr. Fadipe is on. Can see him. You can
call them according to the way you want, according to your choice.
That's the way I see them on the platform now.
Call Dr. Fadipe.
My boss and mentor, Dr. Oladotun Fadipe. Please, if you are listening, you have the floor to 3 minutes to talk to us.
Fadipe, unmute yourself, Oga. Yeah. Oga, can you call him? You guys in Nigeria, call him, please. Then before then I think call another person, maybe Nahuru.
I can't find Dr. Nahuru on call again. And
has it crashed out? Are you sure?
Yes, and Dr. Tunji Nasir, he was on the call. I can't find him.
He said?
Yes.
Inahoro said he had to leave. He has other things.
Okay. Then we'll call Dr. Nasir if he has left. Let's see how far we'll go. It's a pity we dragged this in so long. Because it's a very topic. We needed to delete it.
Dr. Tunji too is not on call.
Well, I think we will round up, please.
Yes, before we round up, sir, just a comment on or a question rather, by Dr. Saminu Abdulkadir. He said, how can we leverage on the African continent veterinary service provision? I think that's a question.
Yeah, I think I learned Nick is back. Nick Wampa is back.
Nick Wampa.
Yes, he was the acting executive director, AUIBAR, where veterinary diseases control in Africa is being domiciled in Addis Ababa. We've gotten to that level. We might share some. We will bring him here. Don't worry. We'll bring him one of these days to come and talk to us. So, what again? Is there any other thing? So, but you see, anything we don't cover today, we'll cover tomorrow.
Yes.
So just 1 minute from all of them. Now I have spoken my own, or Davies will speak, Samir will speak, I will end up. I won't talk.
Okay, Prof Ma, you can give us your last word so I can conclude.
Is she there?
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I believe that in rounding off this, it's now afternoon, there's a need for us to mentor and to be mentored. And honestly, you can't go wrong with that. But the most important thing, as Professor Kudi said, you must be willing. No matter what your mentor, has in stock for you, if you are not willing, the relationship cannot be mutual and it cannot be symbiotic. So thank you, everybody. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend. I believe the veterinary profession can move forward this way. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Dr. Argungu.
Okay, thank you very much for having this opportunity to learn from Ellis. So I'm highly grateful to be part of this conversation.
Yeah,
so
and you did.
So a lot have been said. Thank you very much, everybody.
Welcome.
Yeah, you did well, and you'll be called upon next time to anchor this program so that you can see your confidence is building up. That's all what we want. And then
thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Please, Maxwell University thanks everybody. It's impactful. We'll give you more impactful ones as time proceeds. So please, anytime we talk about mentorship, drag as many young vets as possible. I think Kenchi was saying that the first dean, in fact, maybe that dean stayed for a very short period in Ottoman Danfodio University, because Ottoman Danfodio University started when I had started my practice. So I don't know that some Haruna was the first dean, but the first time I heard about the university, I was told that my lecturer, Professor Kolmo Lafe, was the dean as at that time. So I thought he was the first one. It's an error. It's what I will call is a historical error of judgment, of misjudgment. So thank you very much. And all of you that came here today, I know about, don't worry, I knew you when you were in City Vets.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Under Professor Cadmus,
yes,
who started that hospital. Thank you very much. Who again? Thank you, Ekundayo Samuel, Abdulaziz, Favor, Arakuel Gechuku, Abibas. Everybody is welcome. Next time, God bless you all. And take care.
God bless you.
Happy Saturday. Go and enjoy yourself. Those with all one bed, do all one bed. Those having other things, do other things. And then Ramadan Kareem to all our faithful, wonderful Muslim colleagues, Abibat Sanusi, Ramadan Kareem. Come Kareem. Oh, God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Aziz, Ramadan Kareem. We love all of you. Oh, in unity and in strength, we will in unity and in diversity is in unity. Unity is in diversity. Thank you and God bless you all. And thank you for employing me. And then on behalf of those who have elected Professor Moni or Professor Kudi, sorry, we're saying, because that's the name of the Hausa conversion
Direct
of
translation in English.
Here in English is money. So that's why he doesn't need money to flow. We understand him and understand him very well. God bless him too. We had to crack jokes, and we have a lot of jokes to crack. We are not, it's not a sadness, it's a happiness kind of stuff. It's not increasing. No. It's an enjoyment. Enjoy yourself. As you make your money, cut part of some of your money and kit yourself very well.